Hello everybody, welcome to the show. We're gonna watch Charles back his boat in. This is how you do it the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna pull up here and find a place to park. Anyway, you guys are in for a treat. We are coming to this body of water. Now, if you didn't watch the video, go back and watch it. We were at the other place and it was good and everything, but it's not as big as this body of water, and it's probably close to as clear, but not quite. We still have all the gear loaded up from the last hole, and we're gonna hit this. We've only got, well, you can see the sun. Can you guys see it? It's blinding me, but we got a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours of fishing, and we're gonna see what we can do. So buckle up, hang on, wish us luck. Let's do it. If this trip's anything like last time, I'll have a fish before we ever get anywhere. And already got one. That fast.
Already got one.
Nice little bass. Boat's still going full speed. Charles like, we're getting to our spot this time. Had him hooked a little weird. Hooked good though.
Huh?
Hooked kind of weird. That usually you get him up here. He was hooked underneath. First bass of this trip. Oh boy, I see it. Shade tree. You guys see that? I saw it. I knew it.
Oh yeah.
Nice little chunk. Oh, he is a skiing like you wouldn't believe.
Boat going full speed. He's skiing animal, huh?
The boat has not slowed down.
Real.
Uh-oh. You got one too? I think he had one.
Yeah, I think he's got it still.
Still? No. The G Loomis lineup, there's actually not that many rods. There's the NRX. There's one above this one, believe it or not, called the Conquest that sells for $600 and some. There's one down from this called the GLX, which it's more of a plain. It doesn't have bright colors. Then there's the IMX Pro. Then there's the E6. And their entry-level rods start out at $200, $199. Now, I believe they got a pretty good guarantee themselves. There we go, finally. It took a while. Pit of 1,000 casts. It took a lot of casts to get that bass, but I was just talking Loomis to Charles. I don't know how much of that I'll leave in, boys and girls, but Charles, trust me, he's like me. He's like, ain't no way I'd spend that much money on a rod. Generally, I wouldn't either. But if you guys ever want to hear me when I go to reviewing rods and stuff, guess what? This is, I don't care what anybody says, because everybody says about different rods nowadays that Loomis is past their prime, but this is the rod that everything else is compared to on higher end stuff as far as sensitivity, the NRX lineup. So until I've fished it and had it and used it, at least for this season, I mean, will I keep them? Will I just sell them? Who knows? But I'll be able to judge, and you guys can kind of, you know, follow. I know a little bit of what I'm talking about if I fish the NRXs for a season as far as sensitivity goes. But I've always said it since I started fishing with braid. It really doesn't matter what rod you got. That braid, like ding, 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 it's like a telegraph line. It detects the little bites, you know. Now, if I wanted to use this rod and go to a straight fluoro, then it would definitely probably rise above all the other brands. But you know, I can use that cheap Berkeley lightning rods, $34.99. Those rods feel very sensitive with braid to me. Is that a cherry wood? Yeah, see, I like the lightning rods over the cherry woods. And that's just because I broke a cherry wood, and I've never broke a, well, I broke a Berkeley lightning rod, but that was because I was a dummy. I broke a cherry wood, how'd I break? The cherry wood broke prematurely for me anyway, so I never bought any more. But those are only like 20, aren't they? Or 20?
Yeah. Well, at the time, it was the only thing I could find that was this light and short. I was looking for a short rod for kayak fishing, and everybody wants to make a 6.5 or longer nowadays. Yeah. And I was at Bass Pro, and I was like, oh, well, this one's the length I want. Yeah, it feels good. And I was like, oh, it's 20 bucks. Okay, yeah. Game on. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, they're still good rods.
Yeah, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's what everybody asks me. I'll sell you all day long the Berkeley lightning rod for $34.99. And now the newest version, the 6'6", is actually very soft. It's as soft as this 802. Maybe even a little bit softer, so you can get by throwing a little bit lighter baits.
That's what you just told that guy, was to get a Berkeley lightning rod and an Abu Garcia.
Right. You want a cheap bait casting combo. I build my own. Even the Black Max combo is probably the cheapest you can get. That's halfway decent. They got a 6'6" out.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I would actually just get the Berkeley lightning rod. If you want a 6 foot, get or 6'6" or a 7 foot, pick out which one. And then I get a Black Max. I would use braid, but if you don't want braid, go with some other line.
Right.
And you got a combo that's going to last several years and catch a lot of fish. I had those Black Maxes.
And, like I said, 2 or 3 years. Oh, I just had a bump. 2 or 3 years later, when the bearings get a little rough, get some orange seals off AliExpress, put in it. Bam! You got a better reel than it was stock.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean. But everything, I don't know. I consider all the cheaper stuff kind of like a ready to run. I did back in the RC stuff, when I worked with Hillbilly. People come in asking you, they're new to fishing, they're new to RC racing. They're like, what's the best thing I can get? Well, that's different than what you may need. The best thing you need is probably not the best thing you can get, because you may try this 3 months and be done with it.
Right.
And if you've bought a G Loomis rod or say some high dollar rod, reel, go crazy buying baits, and then you're upset because you're selling everything for under half the price.
Or you just throw it in the closet.
Right, or you just throw it somewhere and then it sets and really depreciates and loses value over the years. Is just start out with what I call like a ready to run in fishing is, the Berkeley stuff, the cheaper Abu, or it doesn't matter which brand, cheaper Lew's. That's kind of like the Lew's. I did the Mach Pro. I mean, it's like an entry level. It's like a ready to run bait casting setup. There's nothing wrong with it. It works good. It's probably not going to last a long time. If you tried to join a tournament, and fished it hard every weekend all summer, you probably have it destroyed it, the reel at the end of that season. But as far as just that, average fisherman that goes out every once a month, every other week or whatever, it's fine. It's perfect. Looks cool. And as far as for kids, kids just getting up in maybe their early, not quite a teenager, just teenager, man, that's the loose stuff is actually perfect.
Oh yeah.
Looks cool, works good, and it was.
My Lew's just didn't last as long as I wanted it to.
But I was fishing braid.
I had 2 different ones. That Lew's right there.
Right,
was a Walmart combo Lew's. Let me have it. Okay, thanks, Tom.
I was like, what is this kid doing?
And it didn't do so great. And then I put BFS spool in it and ceramic bearings, and now the gears and stuff are starting to go.
Yeah.
But I had another one that I bought at Everhart's that was a more higher end Lew's, and it was night and day difference.
Oh yeah.
But I was doing a stupid over the shoulder cast in the kayak in my pit, and right as the spinnerbait hit the water, a bass grabbed it and pulled it right out of my hand, and I never found it again.
Never found the whole rod and reel?
Yeah, and it had a Quantum, I forget what it was, but it was a really nice Quantum rod that I really liked. It had the Fuji micro guides on it, and it was crazy sensitive. And then I bought that Lew's reel, and it was a good setup. But I do not care for the entry-level Walmart Lew's reels.
If I was going to get...
And everybody, I'm forcing myself to use it because I don't. Everybody brags on these.
Yeah,
I
the
do
Caskins.
not like this reel at all.
Yeah, I don't like Caskins. They're just too big and bulky. I can tell by the way you're sitting there looking at it, holding it. I wouldn't want it.
It's not that. Here.
I wouldn't want that reel.
Make a cast and you'll feel the glitch.
All right, everybody. Let's see. I got Van and them on Average Joe's Fishing Club. I can tell you right now I don't like this. It got a weird feel. This is a heavy bait.
Wait till you start.
Casts a
reeling.
long ways.
Feel that clunk in it when you reel? And it's got like slop in the gears.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
And it's got a clunk. And it's just not very good.
Got a loose speed stick. This one about broke, isn't it, or not?
What?
Which one got caught up when we were leaving? This one?
Oh yeah, it was that one. Yeah, yeah. That's the rod that reel over there was on.
Oh boy, look at that cast. We got it right up in there on the bank.
It does cast.
Watch me catch
good.
it big.
I will give it that, but it's just heavy and clunky and.
Oh yeah, it's just got that cheap reel feel. I can tell. I can like hear and feel the gears.
Mm-hmm. But see, my other reels here aren't like that. A Black Max isn't like that.
Yeah, I just don't like them. They got that extra bulkiness that I don't like.
And they're in their aluminum frame, which makes them last good, but they're just heavy.
You feel the difference between that and what's that?
Oh yeah.
That's why this one costs a lot more money.
And what reel is that?
That's the Aldebaran 50, which it new is like $400.
Right.
But you can get them all over eBay for like 200 or less now. And they're still like this one I bought used. Who knows how many years it already had on it. I've had it for over a year. Maybe this is the second or third year. But just feel how, you know, now the braid you're hearing, but
no,
they just got that smooth reel, lightweight. I got this is just the braid I had from last year. It happened to be the right color for these rods, but I ordered some Hercules 8 strand that, of course, the way stuff's coming nowadays, who knows when I'll get it. But at first I didn't really mind the braid, and really when we're out fishing it's not as big a deal, but when I'm editing videos, that noisy braid gets on my nerves. You keep hearing it like casting and reeling, and I'm like, whoa, man.
Especially when you get a nice fish, your braid really screams.
Well, see, I like that part about it, but it's that, it's kind of like whatchamacallit.
You got one?
The old Hardy reels.
Reel.
You're in the grass.
You're hung up.
Just that noise gets annoying after a while.
The ceramic bearings are really loud too.
Yeah, I know my old MG Extreme 2, every time I cast it, it had that noise. I think I got one or two of these other reels that are like that. But yeah, these Aldebarans are my favorite reels. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, dang it, there ain't nothing hitting.